On today's episode of the Hop Nerd Podcast, today's going to be just a bit of an update because I jacked some stuff up and gave you 2 episodes last week. So, it should be pretty short this week. We'll see how it goes. Let's jump right in. Welcome to another episode of the Hop Nerd Podcast. I am your host, Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd LLC. Make sure you head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com for fundamentals, learning teams, support, and so much more. Send us an email, thehopnerd@gmail.com, and be sure to follow along with us on all things social media at The Hop Nerd or at Sam Goodman. Welcome to today's episode. Hello. Howdy, everybody. Sam Goodman, your host of the Hop Nerd Podcast and the Hop Nerd Sideshow. How are you? I hope things are going absolutely great in your neck of the woods. Things are going wonderful here. I'm just getting back to Phoenix from an extended vacation in Tennessee. I won't dive too much into that. If you want to learn more or hear more, I guess, about our wacky adventures to Tennessee and how much fun they were in Dollywood and Splash Country, and even get like a nice cold brew review and all those different things, you can head over and listen to the Sideshow. Just search the Hop Nerd Sideshow, most places that you find podcasts, and there you go. You can just jump right into it. An easy peasy lemon squeezy kind of way to listen to that too is just to go over to www.thehopnerd.com/podcast or thehopnerd.com and then click on podcast, and then scroll down. You'll see this show that you're listening to right now, and right under that it says the Sideshow. You click on it, you can listen to it right there. We've had this conversation. You can hide it behind that Word doc that you're pretending to work on at work and listen to it through the headset that you use for Teams. And then when people walk by, they look in your office, they go, "Oh, they're busy on Teams. They must be in a meeting." It works pretty well. It works 98% of the time. I think it works extremely well. Now, a cool thing about the Sideshow, though, is if you do go over to the website, thehopnerd.com, click podcast, scroll down, click on Sideshow, super duper easy. I'm sure that there is a direct way to access that. I just don't remember quite how, so I'm typing in my browser right now while I'm rambling. So if it sounds like I'm rambling to buy myself time, I am rambling to buy myself time to go over to my very own website to try to discover if there is a direct show link to this. Oh, look, there is. Look how easy that is. I forgot. I do that quite a bit. thehopnerd.com/sideshow. There you go. So where I was going with this, though, is you can go to thehopnerd.com/sideshow. And if you scroll on down, you'll see the podcast player and all that stuff. You scroll on down, you'll see a little box that says be on the show anytime from anywhere. Be a part of the Sideshow. The way this works is you click start recording. Yeah, you click start recording. I think you have to give, permission, for the microphone and all that stuff. But you can record a message, a question, something that is on your heart, on your mind, something that you want to share. We got to keep it, I won't say PG, but we need to keep it not creepy. How about that? Yeah, it's the internet. And voice messages that come in from the internet can sometimes be... we'll just leave it there. But just click start recording and you can leave a message. And you can leave it for this show. I might throw it on this one, or I might throw it on the Sideshow, but you can be a part of the podcast. If you've just got cool stuff you want to share, questions, comments, things that you want me to talk about, just go click start recording. It comes straight to my little handy dandy inbox, and then I can throw it on the show. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah. So this is an update episode, and I gave you a good chunk of the Sideshow already. But we started the Sideshow, we, meaning me. I'm trying to get better at that. When you're a small business, a micro business owner such as I am, and by micro I mean a solopreneur, so it's just me doing the things that I do, and all the things that I do with the Hop Nerd LLC side of things. You get to see all the adventures if you're following along, and all those different places where you can follow along. But when you are a micro business owner, a solopreneur, I don't know why, but all my friends that are in the space too, I have this conversation with them, and it's like, why do we say everything we? I don't know. I guess we feel like I don't know. I think it makes it feel like, I'm a company, so it's a we, and but really it's not. It's me, and it's you. It's when we're doing those solo things. So I promise, I'm trying to get better at not saying the we, because if it has anything to do with this, if it has anything to do with anything under the Hop Nerd, it is completely me, and I'm trying to get better at that. I am looking at some options to make that a little bit easier, because it's a lot. Holy crap. It's a lot. Someone to help me a little bit there. Hopefully at some point. We're trying to figure that out at the moment, not to dive too deep into that. Side rant on using me instead of we. I started the sideshow to have an opportunity to talk about everything else, because you guys seem to like it a lot. And I didn't want to continue to, we're going to keep a lot of that here in this podcast, but I wanted to have a separate place for it. So there is a separate place for that. We're going to have guests over there too. And my intent with the guests on the sideshow, we've got one coming up very, 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 very soon that you're going to like. I promise you're going to like, is to get to know them. Right? Yeah. To get to know them, to not talk about this stuff. Right? I mean, and there'll be some of this stuff. Of course there will. There will be some of this stuff. We will have some of these conversations. We will always have some of our work woven through those things. Hold on, cold brew moment. We'll always have that stuff in there. But I want to weight that differently on the sideshow, where on this show, we have this conversation where it's mostly built around how we approach things a bit better, how we humanize our approaches to safety and well beyond, obviously, around human and organizational performance, around continuous improvement, of course, around learning and learning from those, all the stuff that we talk about here. Not to give you the full recap of the podcast, but it's weighted probably about 90% that, 10% them. The sideshow, at least with the guests portion of that, are going to be quite the opposite. It's going to be quite the opposite. It'll be about 90% just casual, fun conversation. Who are you? Those fun conversations. What do you do that's not work? What are you passionate about? I'm going to pull out some of these handy dandy cool questions that I've been kind of sitting on for a while, and we'll learn more about your favorite folks in this little space of human and organizational performance, and podcasters and consultants and all the folks that you see all across the interwebs. You'll get to learn more about them, and along the way, you'll get to learn a whole bunch more about me. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please hold on, another cold brew break. It's early, and I'm trying. I know I'm trying. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, and many of you have already gone over and subscribed, but please look up the Hop Nerd Sideshow on whatever platform you use to listen to podcasts. It's on pretty much all major podcast platforms, so pretty easy to find. Or again, you can listen to it on the website. But click subscribe, leave it a 5-star review, share it with your friends. Again, we're going to have some really cool guests over there. It's update stuff. It's conversation stuff. It's all behind the scenes kind of stuff. It's what I've got going on and what those guests have going on that's not work related. There's also a segment that is cold brew reviews, which is kind of cool. I've done a few of those so far. So we're reviewing cold brew, the one that I'm drinking right now. You can hear it. I'm going to be reviewing it at some point. And as I took a nice strategic drink in between there, and if you have any suggestions for cold brews that I should try, I'm ordering in like wacky cans in particular right now, because I always struggle to find a good canned cold brew. I'm just going to say it. Most of them freaking suck. But yeah, if you have any good recommendations there, please let me know. I did discover a couple great cans of cold brew. If you want to find out what those are, you can go over and listen to the sideshow. Yeah, there you go. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah, like that, right there. Yeah, go check it out. Other than this sideshow, we've got a lot of stuff coming up, and it's shaping up to be a real wild and fun, busy fall. Good work, right reasons, having a ton of fun. And that's exactly what this fall is going to be like in my world. And so the other thing that I want to share with you there is hopping operational learning in Las Vegas. I every time that I share it, new people go, holy crap, I didn't see this. And I feel like I'm oversharing it. So I apologize if you have seen it like 1,000 times. But every time I share it, I get emails like, holy crap, you're doing this? Like, people still do not know. Like, it's hard. It's hard to spread the word about things like this. So I do apologize if you have seen it like a bazillion times. But Hop in Operational Learning in Las Vegas, I'm getting to collaborate with my near and dear friend, Steve Scott. Steve is just freaking amazing. Go back and listen to Steve's episode here on the podcast. I love getting to hang out with Steve. I'm going to drag him onto a podcast or two, and definitely over on the sideshow before we get into this event. That'll be a great conversation. But I am collaborating with the one, the only, the amazing, the great, the powerful Steve Scott to bring you Hop and Operational Learning in Las Vegas, which is a 2-day workshop which focuses on exactly what I just said, Hop and Operational Learning. And it is going to be an absolute hoot. It's going to be a freaking blast because, of course, the workshop is going to be good. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. But the part that I always get pumped for, it's really the conversations that happen in the margins, the in-between, and even more so, the hang, just getting to spend time together and have real deal meaningful conversations outside of the PowerPoint, outside of the workshop, the pre and post stuff, the in-between stuff. I swear, those things, man, I always walk away from those conversations going, holy crap, that conversation was freaking amazing. Holy crap, we just like really put it into something there. That's cool. So again, if that sounds like something that you'd be into, you can go to the website, thehopnerd.com/event. Or if you just want to sign up, send Steve an email, steve@hopimprovement.com. It's that easy. You just send Steve an email and you can register. If you need the agenda and all that kind of sort of stuff, because many of us do, I know, been there, done that, lived that life. I know how this goes. You got to sit down and you got to like pull together the business case to go because, of course, yeah, your organization should pay for you to go there, right? That agenda's there. If you need all that stuff, if you need all the basic information, it's at thehopnerd.com/event. And just let them know you're going to learn a ton. It's going to be an absolute blast. And maybe you leave out the blast part because organizations do get weird about sending folks to Vegas. Now, with that said, hold on, a cold brew break. Now, with that said, if you do need a little bit of cover there, we're not doing it on the Strip, so that helps a bit, right? So 6 minutes from the airport, super duper easy to get to. Middle of the week, you can fly on a Monday, super easy. It's early enough in the week. If you just absolutely have to get back, you can. Yeah, you can, right? You still got a couple days left in the week there. But if you want to stretch it into a long weekend, it's kind of in the middle of the week, right? So you can stretch that in to a long weekend pretty seamlessly. And so from the Strip, wink, wink, it's about 12, 13 minutes or so. With an Uber, yeah, something like that on one of those bird scooters, avoiding Vegas traffic. You can probably make it there in like 5. So, yeah, if you do need that to just say, listen, it is in Las Vegas, but it is back off the Strip. It is not in a casino or anything like that. It is in a dedicated conference space. I know how this goes. But all that stuff is available for you over at thehopnerd.com/event. So I've got that coming up. Now, I'm going to have to navigate over to the website again. I apologize because I just don't have these notes in front of me. But I will tell you while I'm doing this to go over to thehopnerd.com, scroll all the way to the bottom and click join the mailing list. It's in that little menu at the bottom. I don't know, just aesthetically, I don't want to like put it like bam, like right up in the front of the website. But you can just scroll down there, click that, and that's an easy way to see when these events are happening, when these public events are happening. If you're interested in coming to these workshops or sending some of your folks to these workshops or sending some of your folks to these keynotes or you coming and hanging out at some of these keynotes, the easiest way to discover those is just to sign up for the mailing list. I send out the weekly check-in. I say weekly, and it is pretty much weekly. I'm getting good at it. I will miss them from time to time, just like this podcast. I'm going to get into that here in just a minute. But sign up for that mailing list and you'll get that stuff straight to your inbox. You'll see that event schedule as they happen. I don't always have public events coming up. 90% of what I do is private stuff with organizations, as many of you know. But I do try, and I'm trying to do more and more public events simply because I think it's cool. I like getting to come out and spend time with everybody in these large settings. We just did the ASSP PDC in Philadelphia a while back, and it was an absolute blast. I absolutely loved it. And then did HSE Global's North America out in Austin, and it was an absolute blast. Got to hang out with so many amazing folks and meet so many amazing friends within this space, like Ron Yant and like Brad Green and like Jeff Dalto and like everybody else that was there. It was super duper fun. But back to the point. If you go to the website and you scroll on now, which is where I'm going, so I can tell you about these public events, you can scroll to about the middle of the first page and you'll see upcoming public events. You just click it and boom, there you go. So I've got Hawkeye and Safety Conference coming up on September 5th. That is in Coralville, Iowa. It's going to be awesome. I would encourage you to come out and hang out. I think it's a one-day event. Ticket prices are extremely affordable, and it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be great. So come out, hang out, doing a keynote there. On September 27th, I'm doing the 2024 Arizona Health and Safety Summit here in the great state of Arizona. It's fun for me because I finally get to do a little bit more stuff in my backyard. I'm sorry, I keep taking these cold brew breaks, man. My throat is a little bit dry, and I think I just need extra caffeine. So if you're not liking the ice, sorry, not sorry, I guess. Not going to stop. But come out and check that out. If you want to come out, or if you are in Arizona or you want to come hang out in Arizona, let's definitely make that happen. I'd love to see you there, as I'm sure everyone else would love to see you there as well. And then HOP and Operational Learning in Las Vegas, as we said, October 8th and 9th. So 3 public events coming up, September and October, that are just great opportunities for you to come out or send your team out. It's going to be great. So, if you want to learn more about those, again, just go to thehopnerd.com/public, and super duper easy to find. It'll link you over to their websites. It'll show you how to get tickets, do whatever you need to do there. Super duper fun. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for all 3 of these, and I'm super duper pumped for Vegas just because it's going to be absolutely great. Now, to continue on with our little bit of an update here. And the reason why I'm doing a bit of an update episode here right now is because I jacked up the podcast. So, as you know, the Hop Nerd podcast is part of the Safety FM family, which is awesome. You should definitely check out all the other Safety FM hosts there as well. But we recently had a bit of a move because the podcast host platform that we use there, I guess, is closing. I think it's just shutting down. I don't know. I think that's the thing. And so with that being said, the podcast is moving to another hosting platform. And so I sit down to do that this morning to go, okay, what do I do here? Because I had an episode that was scheduled to come out next week. I needed to move it, I think. It's weird. I'm not used to it. The layout's totally different than what I'm used to with the platform. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just haven't figured it out yet. And so I was like, okay, let me go pull this episode, and I'm going to put it over here to make sure that it comes out next week when it's supposed to come out. I put it in there. I went to do the schedule thing, and it is a bit confusing. And most of these platforms are a little confusing until you get them down. And I scheduled it. I put the time, I put the date, and then I hit the button, and then it posted. Like, it actually just came out. So that's, if you're wondering why there's 2 episodes last week, that's why. That was the other episode that was meant for this week. So here you go. There are 2 episodes out. I hope you enjoyed them. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed them. So this is to tell you, please bear with me while I figure out this new platform. Well, I'll figure out the scheduling. If you do get a couple extra episodes here or there, I don't know that that's a bad thing, but I might skip one. Yeah, if I'm recording stuff, I might skip one because, as you know, I travel a bunch. When I'm home, I try to be as present at home as I can. So I try to record these things on particular days, and I really try to record at least a couple of them at a time when I can, which is kind of rare, I feel. But I do try to record them on particular days and pre-schedule them in advance, so when I'm traveling, you still get the podcast, and I don't have to think about it. Right? It's a lot. It's a lot when you're stranded in an airport, trying to get from here to there, and then you go, crap, I forgot the podcast. What do I do now? Yeah, so just bear with me. That's all I'm asking. So there is a bit of a shift happening there as well. So if you see it get glitchy, or if it gets kind of weird, it's just that. It's just that. But I think the move will probably be that much better. So I'm optimistic about it. I think it's gonna be cool to move over to a new platform. I've just got to have the time to figure it out. So other than that, I mean, this is just a quick update for you. Wanted to really let you know about the sideshow. Wanted to really let you know about the event happening in Las Vegas, HOP and Operational Learning in Las Vegas. Wanted to let you know about the other 2 public events that are happening, 2024 Health and Safety here in the great state of Arizona, and Hawkeye Safety Conference in Coralville, Iowa. All going to be phenomenal. I hope to see you there at least one of those, hopefully all 3 of those. Just come hang out. We'll have a blast. We'll go on tour together. It'll be absolutely really cool. The last thing that I want to let you know is I've added a bunch of new merch over in the merch shop. So if you're looking for an easy peasy way, cold brew break, to support what we've got going on here at the podcast in particular, the merch shop is such an easy, great way to do that. Now, I always feel the need to let people know that everything they do is print on demand because I can't warehouse stuff. And even if I could, I'm not here and it is just me. If I warehouse stuff, you would get your orders in 5 to 7 business years. Like that's how that works. Everything's print on demand. And I tell you that to really let you know that prices are always higher than what I hoped that we could get them to. It's just part of that. And because so when you see those prices, just understand that the vast majority of that does not come here. It just does not come here, whether it's books or operationally curious questions, the cards or the t-shirts or any of those things. The vast majority of that, it does not come here. And in fact, a lot of those, I try to bring them down. And then by the time shipping and all this stuff, it's like we're selling them at like a loss, which clearly just doesn't work for anybody at all. But every time you pick up a t-shirt, every time you pick up a sticker, one of those cool sweatshirts, and we've been putting a ton of effort into the designs. You can tell. Go take a look at those things. We've been working with some independent artists. We've been doing some of them internally, but we put a ton of effort into making it just cool, making these things just cool stuff. Anytime you pick those things up, you pick up a deck of operationally curious questions, starting points, the cards. Again, you can find those over on the websites, or you just pick up the books. It quite literally helps us keep the podcast and everything else that we've got going on here. It helps us keep those things going. It really does. Every time that you leave stuff a 5-star review, you leave things a good review, it helps us an absolute ton. Every time that you interact with a post, it helps us an absolute ton. It truly does. It helps us keep bringing you all these resources, the podcasts, the videos, all the stuff that we do beyond just the Hop Nerd LLC, the normal business kind of stuff that we do. It helps us bring you all this extra. So many of you, thank you. Thank you for your support, your love, all the stuff, buying the t-shirts, buying the stickers, reviewing the podcast, leaving us those 5-star reviews, sharing the podcast, interacting with us on social media, us. Jesus, I'm still doing it. Me. It helps us an absolute ton. Same thing with coming out to these events, man. It's just awesome. It helps us an absolute ton. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Genuinely, it's amazing to see all the love and support of everything that we've got going on here with the Hop Nerd Podcast, the Hop Nerd Sideshow, the Hop Nerd LLC, of the books, of the merch shop, of all those different things. Be sure to go over and sign up for that mailing list, www.thehopnerd.com. Scroll to the bottom, click Join Mailing List. Hold on. I bet there is an easier way to do that too. I keep just telling you to go click on stuff, and let me try this before we go. Mailing list. That one's a little harder. It's thehopnerd.com/join-the-mailing-list. It's harder. Yeah, I need to fix that. It's super easy. You just put in your name, first name, last name, email. You got to agree. You must agree to the terms and conditions. And then you hit subscribe, and then you get all that information straight to your inbox. Public events, new merch, new books. Did I say new books? Not yet. Not yet. I'm not putting that out there in the universe right now. Maybe one of these days when I get some time to chain myself here to the desk and write some more stuff. Make sure you check out the blog. I'm doing quite a bit of writing over there. So check out the blog. Make sure you like, you follow, you do all that kind of sort of stuff. Anywhere that you can like and follow and subscribe and do all that kind of sort of stuff. And the podcast, it might be a little glitchy over the next few weeks. I don't know, until I figure out this new fancy pants hosting platform. So just bear with me. There will be episodes there. You may get no episodes one week, and then the next week you're going to get like 8. I don't know. But we'll get that sorted over time. So until next time, it is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, signing out. Love you. Mean it. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks for listening, everybody. We greatly appreciate all of your support of the Hop Nerd Podcast, the Hop Nerd LLC. If you need a little bit of help of bringing human and organizational performance to life, if you would like to take your efforts around learning and improving to the next level, yep, I can help with that. Head over to www.thehopnerd.com or send me an email, thehopnerd@gmail.com. Until next time, bye everybody. Bye.